Welcome to the CEO of Destiny podcast, where you will find the tools to fulfill the purpose of your generation and wildly succeed in the marketplace. And now your host, Andre J. Benjamin.
Be about that, about who you are, yes. and what's in your heart, and of course you have to be talented, right?
Yes,
and work hard. But if you're able to do that, there's such an there's the way we're seeing it is an opportunity for these companies, and we want to infuse kingdom business practices in these companies. And the kingdom business practices is like people will say, like, oh, they have to pray and worship. I mean, that's nice, but that's not the key. No. What's really important is that wherever that business is, everything around it flourishes. Yes, so if your business is in a town, the roads around your town, you take responsibility. No more like, okay, the government has to do this, we pay taxes. There's going to become a nature where it's like, if as God indwells in people and as they cultivate and produce, that there's an abundance that flows through not just in that business. So it comes through all the employees, but also comes in the community, it comes in the clinic, it comes into the hospitals, it comes into the roads, it comes into the cities, and eventually it transforms a nation, right? Yeah. That's the vision, that like these different seeds of them, and it's not like, and for us, it's not going to come through us only. No. We people to see what we're doing, and for them to be, for God to inspire their imagination, and for them to take the risk, right? And the analogy I keep thinking about is, there's a story about the first time, I think it's the 4-minute mile was broken, right? Yes. And we like, before the 4-minute mile was broken, I think it was 1954, the scientists and doctors say, like, hey, it's impossible to do it. Physically, it's impossible. This one guy does it. I think his name is Roger Bannister. Yeah. After he did it, do you know how many people did it afterwards? It just broke something. It broke something in the spirit. It broke something. And here's what we see ourselves as, like, hey, let's go and start breaking things in different industries and open it up for other people to do it, and open it up for this to become more possible, right? So it's coming in, and of course there's going to be resistance. It's not going to be easy.
Oh, no, you got it. Yeah, you got to plow ground and obstacles, and even the internal struggles that a lot of people are going to have. The battlefield is the mind. What I really value and draw from what you've said as we're wrapping up, because I want you to share a couple things with the audience of some key takeaways, because this is really, like I said, part one. I'm really enjoying getting this dialogue, because I want people, no matter what stage of the process they find themselves in, that they are founders, they are managers of different businesses, they have created jobs, they are looking to create jobs. Some are in the career currently right now and they don't enjoy it. It's not, they're at that point, like you said, is that I'll even take a pay cut just to get out of I'm on a treadmill. So it feels like there's a scripture that talks about it's basically like there's holes in their pocket they earn, but it doesn't feel like it's too much money left at the end of the month and just no fulfillment. So I'm glad that you hit that kind of this. But what would you say were 3 key principles that really guided you to this point, that you really value, that you highly esteem? It's like, what were 3 principles that kept you?
That's a good question. I think 3 principles that have kept me right now is just always spending time, close relationship with the Lord. Like one thing I've realized is that, like, God can give us vision, but it's not the most important thing. Like, his vision and his purpose for us, it's exciting. I'm passionate about it, but what's more important is that, like, I foster a relationship with him.
That's good.
Like, I dig in. I spend time with them. I continually go to him to keep going to the fire to get refined, so that only the gold stays, right? So I've had to, like, and I continue to learn this. I continue to, like, to really, like, have to, like, dig into this, because I think for me, it's like, it's not by my might, but by his might, right? I can't, this vision, this purpose is why the reason it's so big is because I can't do it by myself.
Absolutely.
Right? It's only through him that strengthens me. So, like, the most important thing has been just, like, focusing on just being, just like being with the Lord, and just like, and just like walking through that with him. The second thing is like, I feel like, who are the people around you? You know, the people. I mean, obviously, my wife and my kids are so important. But then different people, who are you sharing that vision is? It's something to be stewarded. So it's not something like something I take so like, I guard, you know, but then God is, but also like asking the Lord, who do I bring in? Because this is so big, and I also want to share with more people. And so God has actually been showing me even more recently different people to share it with, who are sparking them, and now they're becoming more partners in this journey, right? So that's been really, really awesome. And I guess the third thing I was thinking about, what would the third thing be? You know, I think the third thing is just like your family. Just like, I don't know, like that's been the tough one too. Just like, there's so much time you're spending with the vision and the purpose, but then like, don't let it rob from your time with your kids and your wife and that, because that has to stay so tight.
Guard that.
So guard that, because like whenever you're walking in your vision, the enemy, the way he's gonna try and get you is gonna come through. It's most likely gonna come through your kids and your wife. It's gonna come through your family. You know, so guarding that and making sure that's good, and making sure you're nourishing that, and just and keeping that close is such a important key as you kind of walk through this. So yeah, and I'll say very much in all these things, still learning. I've not arrived, but definitely I've been the things I'm having to steward over time.
Well, I love the growth mindset. I love the developer's mindset. I love the founder's mindset. I love how you're talking about cultivation. You're talking about really pouring into. Is there any verse in particular that has helped you during this time that you want to leave with our viewers?
Yeah, you know, I actually have it right here. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Yeah. You know, I think Jesus even referred to that verse. That's Proverbs 4:23, but Jesus referred to that verse. Even in Matthew, just like, man, in every moment, and even goes with 1 Corinthians 10 about taking every thought captive. It's the battle's in the mind. I mean, yes. Maybe it's not obvious. Maybe it's obvious, but it is. It's right there. It's in our mind. That's where it is. And just guarding what's coming in our minds, and even the contents that we watch, and the things that we read, and even the things about what I say, the power of the word. Even when I read something negative about Zimbabwe, I've now even realized I can't talk negatively about it, because I'm talking against God's vision. Yes. You know. So I'm having to guard that and be like, no, I need to prophetically speak what God has said about Zimbabwe or about any situation. So just guarding our hearts, just like diligently, just really watching what's in there, because really that's where life flows. It's just been the principle for us this season for me.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Thank you. Well, I really thank you for pouring into our audience. I know there's so many jewels that were shared. And like I said, this is the beginning of a conversation. I look forward to us reconvening and talking more, both on the show and off the show, just because I value what it is that you're espousing, and what you're espousing right now in a time when people are really feeling pressed in is not to just be reactive, but you're proactive. Your proactiveness is coming in the fact that you have an anchored relationship. You're leaning into that. You're developing how you can be a contributor to the marketplace. I love the fact that you're saying, hey, we want companies. You didn't say, we're moving there, and hopefully there's just one big company that will just be our super company. It's like, you're like, no, we want an incubator to change the mindset so that more and more, and you said others will come along, and others who have been touched by it. And I love how the vision was inclusive. It wasn't just your vision, it was the vision, that there's others that have had the vision that are going to come along, that are going to be a part of this. And it just is beautiful. What a great way for people to hear, whatever city you're in, whatever nation you're in, whatever province you're in. If you feel that things are not looking the way that you've been shown that they can, that brings beauty, that brings dignity, that brings restoration, hey, you could be the catalyst in it. You partner with the creator, with the king, and watch what he can do. So Simba, thank you for your time. I really thank you for allowing your your expertise to be on loan to us, and thank your bride for us that as well. She gave the runway even with your career to where the time that you are now. And congrats on the acquisition of the company, because the Father knew the timing and he released you, and that is just a great feeling. And I love the fact that you didn't spiritualize. That's why I love when you shared the story, you didn't spiritualize that. And God told me to go for the equity, not the paycheck. You said no. He spoke to you about consider. It's not just about the short term. What? Yeah. And you had to weigh and you had to make the decision. Yeah. And you chose what you chose. Now you get what I'm saying? You chose this and look at how it panned out. So there's a trust in the moment by moment. So I want to thank you for your time. And I want to say to the listeners, we have the notes, the show notes. This will be coming out in excerpts as usual. We want to value you so you could binge it and you could share it out, and make sure to check out. Do you have a website or anything for people, or do you have a place where people can find you?
Not yet. I guess I have a link. Well, I'll send you my LinkedIn.
Perfect. So you can find him on LinkedIn, and we'll have that information up. And then we know there will be many things that he will be printing pretty soon. We're going to call that out. We're going to get him to write, and we're going to get him to publish and get some stuff out. So that's perfect. Thank you for your time, and may God bless you. Godspeed.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. Do us a favor. If this was useful in any way for you, please go to iTunes and leave us a review. Reviews will allow others to easily discover the podcast. If you'd like more information and to receive a free download, Rediscover Your Destiny, go to ceoofdestiny.com. Thanks again, and tune in next time.